Tag TV brings you daily news bulletin from India. Breaking news and views from India.
Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Monday, the 24th of June. Indian Air Force recreates Tiger Hill attack to commemorate 20 years of Kargil War. Former Taliban member says troop withdrawal key to progress in peace talks. And at least 5 killed after train derails in Bangladesh. And now for all the details. Kargil War was one of the fiercest armed conflicts between India and Pakistan that took place in 1999. On the 20th anniversary of the war, the Indian Air Force turned its Gwalior Air Base into a war theatre and reenacted the crucial events of the war.
The Indian Air Force on Monday virtually turned the Gwalior Air Base in central India into a conflict theatre, recreating the Tiger Hill attack, commemorating 20 years of the Kargil War in 1999. While recreating the Tiger Hill attack in India's Dras Kargil area, the Air Force used the Mirage 2000 aircraft and explosives were blown up on a model hill to recreate the crucial events of the war. Air Chief Marshal B.S. Dhanoa, along with other senior officials, also held a press conference where he said that Pakistan Air Force planes did not cross the line of control during the February 27th dogfight in the aftermath of the airstrike on JEM terror camp in Balakot.
हमारा क्या ऑब्जेक्टिव था, उनका क्या ऑब्जेक्टिव था? हमारा ऑब्जेक्टिव बालाकोट में स्ट्राइक करने का था, जो हम अचीव कर चुके हैं. उनका ऑब्जेक्टिव हमारे आर्मी के ठिकानों पे स्ट्राइक करने का था, वो नहीं कर सके. दैट इज द बॉटम लाइन. आपने कैसे किया, कितने आए, कहां गए, किस तरह का कॉम्बैट हुआ, बट आपको स्टेटेड आपका जो मिलिट्री ऑब्जेक्टिव है आपने अचीव किया कि नहीं किया. वी अचीव्ड अ मिलिट्री ऑब्जेक्टिव, दे डिड नॉट अचीव देयर मिलिट्री ऑब्जेक्टिव, एंड नन ऑफ देम, लेट मी टेल यू, क्रॉस्ड द लाइन ऑफ कंट्रोल इनटू आवर टेरिटरी.
The Kargil War was one of the fiercest conflict between India and Pakistan that took place between May and July of 1999. A number of events have been planned by the army next month to mark the 20th anniversary, which will be spread over 3 days.
Moving on, activists recently gathered for a conference in UK on the atrocities committed by Pakistan on people of Pakistan-administered Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan. The activists during the conference expressed concerns over rampant destruction of natural resources in the illegally occupied territories.
Kashmiri political activists from all over Europe recently gathered in Birmingham in United Kingdom for a conference on the atrocities committed by Pakistan on the people of Pakistan-administered Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan. The conference, titled International Kashmir Conference on Peace, Human Rights and Counter-Terrorism, also focused on the rampant destruction of land and resources in the illegally occupied territories. Pakistan has lately sanctioned multiple projects in Pakistan-administered Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan region that essentially aim to further suppress and marginalize the locals.
We have no freedom of assembly, we have no freedom of expressions, and the terrorist infrastructure is going on, and they are more powerful because ISI and the other security forces and state institutions supported them, and the local population is very deprived.
The construction of a hydropower project on the Neelam River has severely affected life in Pakistan-administered Kashmir. Islamabad has also proposed the construction of Kohala project on Jhelum River, which is likely to aggravate the situation. Any voice of dissent that seeks to resist the exploitative agenda of Pakistan is muzzled with force. Recently, around 60 protesters were manhandled and put behind bars for carrying out a demonstration against the government.
The next round of talks between the US and Taliban negotiators on Afghan peace process is expected to take place at the end of this month. Former members of the Taliban said that the two parties are expected to reach to some types of conclusion on a timetable for troop withdrawal as well as intra-Afghan talks.
Former members of the Taliban have said that the US and Taliban negotiators are expected to reach to some types of conclusion on a timetable for troop withdrawal as well as intra-Afghan talks in the next round of their meeting. The meeting between the two sides is expected to take place at the end of this month. A former Taliban member, Abdul Shakur Mutmain, said the recent release of Taliban prisoners can have a good impact on the talks.
افغانستان د دولت خو طالبان هم د زندانونو خوشی شوی دي او موږ ډیر امیدوار یو چې ان شاء الله تعالی په دې کې حتما د دوه طرف هغه غوښتنې شې دي هغه ان شاء الله تعالی چې مثبت نتیجه درسیږي ان شاء الله.
کلی قلب دروازه صلح و زمانبندی خروج قوای خارجی است. هرگاه به این توافق صورت بگیره باز به تمام مسائل رسیدگی شده میتونه.
US Special Envoy Zalmay Khalilzad announcing June 29th as the date for the next round of talks said in a tweet that as per his visits to Afghanistan and Qatar, all sides, the Afghan government, the Taliban, Afghan politicians and members of the public want rapid progress. This comes after Pakistan on Saturday hosted a conference to bring together more than 50 Afghan leaders, including politicians and tribal elders, in a new initiative to bolster the faltering peace process. The US has been pushing Pakistan to use its influence with the Taliban to open direct negotiations with the Afghan government, which the Taliban regards as an illegitimate foreign-imposed regime.
In news from Sri Lanka, Sri Lankan President Maithripala Sirisena has called for repealing the 19th Amendment to the Constitution, a law that clips presidential powers. He cited it as reason for political uncertainty in the country.
Sri Lankan President Maithripala Sirisena, who will complete his term by the end of this year, on Sunday called for repealing the 19th Amendment to the Constitution. The 19A was the main election pledge of Sirisena when he challenged former President Mahinda Rajapaksa in 2015. Sirisena introduced the 19A in 2015, which reduced the presidential term for 5 years while taking away his absolute control over the dissolution of parliament. The president said the 19th Amendment was introduced because of the monarchical and dictatorial nature of the 18th Amendment introduced by the former government. The 18th Amendment, passed during former President Mahinda Rajapaksa's time in office, lifted the two-term limit on presidency and removed important checks on the exercise of executive power.
Moving on to news from Bangladesh, at least 5 persons were killed and more than 100 injured after a passenger train derailed near Maulavi Bazar district in Bangladesh on Monday. As rescue operations continued, authorities have formed a committee to probe the incident.
A passenger train derailed near Maulavi Bazar district in Bangladesh on Monday, killing at least 5 people and injuring more than 100. The train was crossing a bridge on its way to the capital Dhaka from the eastern city of Sylhet when it went off the rails, Police Superintendent Mohammad Shah Jalal said. He said there could be more casualties inside the 2 carriages that fell into a canal. Local media reports said a 4-member committee has been formed to probe the incident.
Delayed monsoon in India has compounded problems in many parts of the country. To appease rain gods, priests in India's western Mumbai city held special prayers and performed religious rituals, hoping the ongoing water crisis will end.
As taps run dry and the struggle for water in many parts of India intensifies, a group of priests on Sunday tried a different approach to bring the crisis to an end. Standing in chest-high drums of water, priests in western Mumbai city offered special prayers in honor of Parjanya, the rain, thunder and lightning deity, and his wife Prithvi or Earth, to help bring an end to the heat wave which has gripped the subcontinent. Appeasing rain gods with special prayers and performing religious rituals at temples has been an ancient practice across India, especially in western and southern parts of the country.
पर्जन्य भगवान जो अपने को बारिश बरसता है उनको प्रार्थना करके इधर जो इष्टि बोलता है उसको वो उधर प्रार्थना से उसका मंत्र जप हो रहा है। वो मंत्र से पर्जन्य खुश होके पर्जन्य का पत्नी पृथ्वी है, वो पृथ्वी और पर्जन्य मिलके जो बरसता है वो बारिश हो रहा है।
Villages and cities in many parts of India have run out of water, a problem campaigners have said is due as much to years of poor groundwater management as to a lack of rain. This year's monsoon is delayed, further compounding problems across a swath of western and southern India.
A school run by a couple in India's northeastern Assam province is uplifting the lives of underprivileged kids. The school encourages pupils to bring in plastic waste in exchange for free schooling.
A school run by a couple in India's northeastern Assam province is uplifting the lives of underprivileged kids. The Akshar Forum School in Pamohi in Assam province encourages pupils to bring in at least 20 pieces of plastic waste every week in exchange for free schooling. Armed with bags full of discarded plastic, students at this school are hoping to set a precedent with their efforts to save the planet. Parmita Sharma, the school co-founder, said they collect plastic waste to turn into eco-bricks to use in construction, which also helps students earn some money and keeps them out of manual child labor.
In Assam, it's a very common problem. One can see plastic burning almost everywhere. So when we interacted with the students, we found out that this is a serious issue. And in the winter months, what happens is our students, they burn plastic for warmth. We wanted to put a stop to that immediately. So we made it compulsory for our parents that in order for the child to study in our school for free, they have to pledge to not burn single-use plastic at home and to send all plastic bags to our school.
Despite a ban on single use of plastic across many Indian provinces, it continues to be widely used with thousands of tons of plastic waste generated daily that is dumped in streets, drains or landfill, according to the Central Pollution Control Board. Plastic pollution has affected land, waterways and oceans to a large extent, and 1.1 to 8.8 million metric tons of plastic waste enters oceans every year, harming animals as well as humans to an extent, according to the United Nations.
A cricket museum in India's western Pune city is attracting cricket fans as World Cup fever grips the entire country. The museum showcases statistics, cricket memoirs and a lot of insights into Indian and international cricketers.
As the cricket fever grips the entire country, a museum in India's western Pune city that houses rare cricket collectibles is seeing a surge in visitors, both young and old alike. Situated in a residential apartment in the city, the museum is home to some of the rare articles belonging to or signed by famous international cricketers like India's Virendra Sehwag, former Australian captain Michael Clarke and West Indies star batsman Chris Gayle. The museum also offers a lot of insights into Indian and international cricket and cricketers.
मेरे बेटे को बहुत क्रेज है क्रिकेट का, he is very much obsessed. So उसी हिसाब से मैं आया था यहाँ पे with very low expectations, but यहाँ पे आने के बाद पता चला कि इतना और ये स्केल पे ये सब आर्टिकल्स वगैरह जमा किए गए हैं और इतना एफर्ट्स देके ये म्यूजियम बनाया गया है.
One of the most prized items in the museum is a cricket bat signed by all World Cup winning captains. The museum also boasts of having cricket gears belonging to distinguished cricketers of yesteryears like Desmond Haynes, Gordon Greenidge, Mark Waugh and Ellen Border.
Well, that's all we have for you from South Asia this evening. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.